Hello, guys. Time for another episode of Maybe I'm Rambling. Mount Everest. Teacher who sets new women's speed record says aim high. We will aim high, expect high. Sang Yung Hong, a former teacher from Hong Kong, to reporters in Nepal. It's a phrase she often repeated to her friends before recording the world's fastest ascent of Mount Everest by woman on last Sunday. Miss Sang, 45 years old, reached the top of the world's highest mountain from base camp in 25 hours and 50 minutes. That was fast enough to beat the previous record set by a Nepalese climber in 2017 by more than 12 hours. I just feel kind of relieved and happy because I'm not looking for a breaking record. I just wanted to challenge myself, Miss Sang told media in Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, on Sunday after safely returning from Everest. Miss Sang is one of three climbers who has set new Everest records in recent days. Last Sunday, Arthur Moore, 75 years old, became the oldest American to climb the mountain, while 46-year-old Zhang Hong of China became the first blind man from Asia to complete the feat on Monday. The record breakers are three of the hundreds of climbers who have summited the mountain so far this spring. They have done so despite a surge in coronavirus cases in Nepal and Everest base camp since mid-April. Nepal's government reopened Mount Everest to foreigners in April after it was shut last year because of the pandemic. I feel relieved. Miss Sang made a previous attempt on May 11th, but bad weather forced her to turn back. Determined to make it to the top, she returned a week later. She left base camp at 13:20 local time, or 07:35 GMT on May 22, and reached the top at 15:10 the next day. A Nepalese government official said to an AFP news agency. Usually, climbers spend several days in different camps before reaching the peak. Miss Sang beat the 2017 record set by Nepali woman Funjo Jamungu Lama, who climbed Everest in 39 hours and 6 minutes. Miss Sang attributed the record to her ability, teamwork, and luck, but for her, the record was an afterthought. I always tell my working team, my friends, when you aim high, expect high. Miss Sang was quoted as saying by Reuters news agency. So I feel relieved because I can prove my work to my friends, to my students. A strong mind over matter. Mr. Zhang reached the top of the 8,849-meter tall, or 29,031-foot mountain a few days after Miss Sang on 24 of May. The Chinese mountaineer lost his sight at the age of 21 due to glaucoma, an eye condition where the optic nerve becomes damaged. Mr. Zhang, who was born in southwestern Chinese city of Chongqing, was escorted to the top by three guides. No matter if you're disabled or normal, whether you lost your eyesight or you had no legs or hands, it doesn't matter as long as you have a strong mind, Mr. Zhang told Reuters. And this is very uplifting. This goes to tell you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And that's another episode of Maybe a Rambling. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I want to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See ya. This video's second part, we will talk about Carlos Soria, 81-year-old conquering the world's highest peak. When Carlos Soria leaves his house to train in the mountains outside Madrid, wearing a face mask, brings back memories of the Himalayas. It's difficult to breathe, so it reminds me of when I'm at high altitude, he says with a smile. The 81-year-old expects to experience thin air of the Himalayas once again this spring, when he plans to climb the Hailagiri mountain in Nepal. Then in autumn, he hopes to summit Shishpagama in Tibet. If he manages both, he becomes the oldest person to have reached the summit of the world's 14th highest peak, all which surpasses 8,000 millimeters or 26,247 feet. Carlos, a retired upholsterer born in Avila, in the northwest of Madrid, has climbed throughout his life. But in the past 2 decades or so, his feats in breaking a flurry of age-related mountaineering records have made him unique. He has scaled 11 of the 14 highest peaks in the world since turning 60. He briefly became the oldest person to summit Mount Everest at the age of 62. By 70, he has completed ascents of the highest peaks on all 7 continents on my own 2 feet. His most treasured achievement is the way he has gone about his climbs. The record I am proudest of is I have never suffered serious frostbite and I never had to be rescued. I have always gone up and come down each peak on my own 2 feet. He had been hoping to complete his climbs of the 14 highest peaks last year, but COVID-19 thwarted his plans. When he does go, he says he'll remember victims of the pandemic at the 2 summits. I want to pay a tribute to the people of my age around the world who have died from this virus. The people who are having a bad time in care homes and who are very scared, he says. I'm going to take a little bunch of flowers and leave it at the summit as a tribute to all the people who have died due to this terrible situation, he adds. He's now training hard in the Sierra de Guamo mountain range near Madrid. He also has an improvised gym in the room at the back of his house, which contains an exercise bike, weights, and even a small climbing wall that allows him to practice using ice picks. Nobody in the world has done anything like this, says Cito Carsavilla, a geologist who has climbed with Carlos. Carlos is not an old man who got bored when he retired and then decided to start climbing mountains, he explains. He's a veteran mountaineer who is still active and has no other sportsman of any kind who has been active at the highest level for 6 decades. Carlos is now securing the funding he needs for the spring and autumn expeditions and hopes they not be further disrupted by the pandemic. 2 years ago, he underwent knee replacement surgery, but the veteran climber says his physical fitness is not an issue. I lost some stability in my legs, a bit of strength, a bit of mental sharpness, he says. But when I bit the Himalayas, I never felt like the old guy who just doing it to see if he can manage. Elderly people have this idea that it's game over for them, he says. There's a lot of people who says, well, I'm already 70, but so what? That's a wonderful age. So, there's another episode of Maybe a Rambling. So let this be issue to all those who says you can't. Well, you can. And now, see you next time, folks.